I'm feeling low.
Well, hey there, lemon slices, and welcome back to the Lemonade Stand, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brianna. I am a certified personal trainer, a big, huge biology nerd, and a registered dietitian to be. Today we're here for a little deep dive on a fitness program that I've actually never heard of until a few of you brought it to my attention. A couple of you guys suggested, you were like, this might be up your alley, you should talk about it. P-Volve. In preparation for this video, I had the pleasure of speaking to someone who is a physical therapy assistant named Katherine to help me out with this one. Before we proceed, if you love science-based health, wellness, and fitness education with some lulz and some dry sarcasm along the way, hit that subscribe button and join the Lemonade Stand. I would really love to have you here. Alrighty guys, let's make some lemonade. So like I said, I've never heard of P-Volve before. I actually heard about it from you guys from a Q&A that I did a couple weeks ago. Someone just mentioned it and said that I would probably be interested in looking into it based on the genre of videos that I do. And then that started a cascade of multiple people DMing me and asking me to look into it. So I Googled it, watched some YouTube videos, and damn, I am interested. A lot of the workouts look very curious. Some of the equipment is very interesting. So I guess it's best to just start here. What is P-Volve? P-Volve, which stands for Personal Evolution, was founded in 2017 by Rachel Kastman and Steven Pastorino. On a short video on their website, Rachel says that the impetus for her starting P-Volve was her trying to basically heal her body from a combination of high-impact workouts and scoliosis. Now, something that occurred to me, I wonder when the scoliosis diagnosis came. Had she already been diagnosed with scoliosis, but then continued doing high-impact workouts? Or was she trying to imply that the high-impact workouts, brought on her scoliosis? I really don't know. I'm also curious what kind of high-impact workouts that she was doing that had, broken her body down so much that it was to the point where she was in constant pain. I think it goes without saying that physical activity definitely comes with risk. That's why gyms and personal trainers usually make people sign a liability waiver. Because with physical fitness, there is a chance you could get hurt. That's just how it is. But you don't have to, and you shouldn't be killing yourself and beating your body down to the point that it impairs your mobility and causes you daily pain. We all have different fitness levels and we all enjoy different things. That's why it's important to find what you like and find what works best for you. And of course, make sure it's safe. So Rachel goes on to say that in this healing journey, she was introduced to functional movement and decided she wanted to share this method of training with women. And later she brings up again how these workouts are loved by specifically women. It even says on the homepage that P-Volve is a workout method for women. And I think this is a good time to bring up a good gripe that I have. I absolutely despise the gender divide in physical fitness. We see it everywhere. You could go to Google and type in women's workouts and so much stuff will come up. Women's arm workout, women's fitness routine, women's something, blah, blah, blah. It annoys me because I feel like it implies that men and women can't do the same exercises. Spoiler, we can. So when I see on Pinterest women's arm workout and I see things like bicep curls and lateral raises and tricep kickbacks, in my head I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, what makes this specific to women? Men do these exact same exercises. Exercise is not gender specific. And none of you smartasses better bring up stuff like Kegels either. You know what I mean. Now, I believe I understand the reason for this. A lot of women don't feel comfortable lifting weights because they think it might make them bulky. I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I used to be that girl. I used to be a total cardio bunny. I wouldn't touch a single weight for fear that it would make me get huge. So many women think that if they start lifting weights that they'll look like Jay Cutler. Not true. FYI, the women you see in professional bodybuilding who are very large and very muscular, that is generally not acquired naturally. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. I think because a lot of women still have this idea that weightlifting will make them massive. In the social media marketing of within the fitness space, you have a solid arm workout that anybody can do, but you want to market it toward women. So what do? They throw some bright colors on there and then they slap the women's arm workout label on there and bam, now women will want to do this very standard arm workout that anybody can do. Obviously, there's biological differences between males and females. Duh. Generally, men can perform certain lifts heavier than women can because of our differences in anatomy and physiology. I feel like that's obvious, but I have to mention it because I know if I don't, someone in the comment section is going to point it out, so I beat you to it. Regardless of that stuff, we can still do the same exercises. Both myself and my husband can do bicep curls, but my husband can curl
1 million pounds
and I can curl 20 or 30 pounds. He is stronger and has more muscle mass than I do, so therefore he can lift more weight. but we can still both do bicep curls. All of that, however, does become a little bit more confusing when you notice that they actually do have some male trainers demonstrating, leading some of the exercises.
Squeeze and press. Really activate those triceps, open through the chest. Now we're gonna press our arms into a W position. We're gonna lift the knee up, press down. Now as you step forward, make sure that your knee isn't pressed.
There is also the discussion of women's only fitness facilities. As far as the law goes, I definitely see why that presents an issue. To tell someone that they can't, be in your establishment or engage in activity in your establishment because of their gender is discrimination, which is illegal. But I also get the reason for women's only fitness facilities. A lot of women are very sick and tired of being objectified by men in the gym. I think if we can do something to get more women to engage in physical activity comfortably, then we should do it. In fact, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, women in the United States have a higher rate of physical inactivity than men do, and more than 25% of women are not even active at all. Why this is up for debate. But if one of those reasons why women are not as active as men are is because women feel uncomfortable in a unisex gym setting, then why not go to a women's only gym? But it is illegal to discriminate against someone for their gender. A lot of gyms navigate around this though, because even though they don't and cannot legally say no boys allowed, they'll call their fitness facility and make their branding something very feminine so that attracts mostly a female clientele. I don't know how relevant the women's only gyms discussion is here, but I feel like people might bring it up in the comments, so I wanted to beat you to the punch and bring it up first. Some of the purported benefits of the P-Volve exercise method are tightened abs, injury rehab and prevention, and toned legs. Buzzwords that, in my opinion, are very targeted toward a female market. Well, joke's on you, P-Volve. My husband doesn't need you guys for a toned butt. He already has one. I'm jealous of it. So now let's chat about the actual workouts. On their website, under the heading The Workout Experience, they state the following. Our moves, based on functional movement training, are more fluid, dynamic, and controlled than in traditional fitness. Our method takes you through full range of motion, calling on internal and my battery died mid-sentence, so we're back. Calling on internal and external rotations in all three planes of motion, forward, backward, and side to side, to create more strength and length in your body, using dynamic exercises and targeted sequences that move you through resistance. We create deep muscle engagement that sculpts without endless reps. I'm going to be totally honest, that doesn't sound like something you can't get from a standard resistance training workout, but that's just my take. I've looked over several videos of P-Volve demonstrations just to get a feel for it, and right off the bat, my very first reaction is that some of these exercises look super weird to me, but overall, I don't think there's anything super dangerous about them or overtly bad about them, really. From what I've seen, a lot of the exercises are very low impact, not no impact, which can be good for a lot of people. A lot of the moves look somewhat gentle and really may benefit someone who doesn't have the capability to do a faster paced type of training but still wants to move their body. Something that I want to take a moment to point out is the equipment that's used in P-Volve. On their website, they do have equipment listed for sale. They have stuff like resistance bands, ankle weights, a massage stick, a set of dumbbells. But one thing that stuck out to me like a sore thumb, the heaviest weight they have are 3-pound ankle weights. I don't like that. It already annoys me when fitness programs that are just a form of resistance training are gender specific, i.e. workouts for women. That annoys me enough. But if you're going to do that, I would think that you would do more to cater to the actual needs of women when it comes to physical activity. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. Once we reach a certain age, females are at a higher risk than males of developing degenerative bone diseases such as osteoporosis. This is largely due to hormonal changes that happen around menopause that can cause our bones to weaken over time. Thanks, biology. It's been proven that to help combat degenerative bone disease, one can take part in weight-bearing exercises. This is because weight-bearing exercises, such as weight training, increase bone density. With a higher bone density comes stronger bones that are less susceptible to breaking and can actually slow down the process of osteoporosis. Not a doctor, I'm just relaying evidence-based information. So all that being said, why are the heaviest weights that are offered in this entire equipment selection 3 fucking pounds. Maybe they go heavier. I don't really know. I'm just going off of what I see on the website. If you've ever done P-Volve before, do the weights go heavier than 3 pound ankle weights? Do they encourage you to use heavier weight? Let me know. This sort of brings me to my next point. Apparently P-Volve exercises were designed by a physical therapist. On their website, it says that the moves are, quote, physical therapy inspired functional movement, end quote. Dr. Amy Hoover is a physical therapist who owns a wellness practice where she specializes in hands-on manual therapy methods. She says that she prescribes P-Volve to some of her patients for, quote, home exercise to reinforce the specific principles that she's prescribing for repairing their movement patterns, end quote. I think this is really interesting. I mentioned before that a lot of these exercises seem very gentle, which can be good for people who need a lower impact workout. But then that begged the question, from me anyway, is this system primarily for physical therapy purposes, or are they just for the average person to work out just to be a healthy human? I think the answer to that makes a big difference in me shaping my opinion about P-Volve. However, for the physical therapy aspect, I had to bring in some reinforcements and speak to somebody who knows more about it than I do. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not in school to be a physical therapist. I really don't know anything about physical therapy beyond the little bit I've learned about, like in my personal training certification. I've done PT before for issues that I've had in the past, but experience does not equal education. So I called on you guys. I made an Instagram story asking for some help for this video, and a physical therapy assistant named Katherine reached out to me. She offered to help us. Yay! Thank you, Katherine. So I've not heard of the position of physical therapy assistant before, so I started just by asking her like what exactly her job title entails and what exactly she does as a physical therapy assistant, or PTA from here on out, just so that I could be aware. So I'll read what she said now. So it really depends on the clinic or hospital you work at, but I like to compare it to like a dentist and a dental hygienist. When a patient comes into a clinic/hospital, the PT does the initial evaluation and establishes the plan of care, and then often when the patient comes back for their subsequent appointments, they'll work with the PTA. This isn't always the case, and a lot of PTs do the day-to-day treatment as well, but basically the PTA can also do day-to-day treatment and choose therapeutic treatments, exercises, and modalities that would fall within the PT's plan of care for the individual patient. PTAs just can't do evaluations or change the plan of care without approval from the PT. They also have to be under a supervising PT, so you can't have a clinic with just PTAs. Right now, the PTA degree is an associate's degree. Personally, I did my bachelor's first in kinesiology and then decided I didn't want to go into debt for PT school, so I did PTA school instead. I currently work at a rehab hospital helping patients get stronger/safer with performing their ADLs so they can safely go home or to a nursing home or wherever. We've got PTs and PTAs and OT/OTAs and speech therapists. I'm assuming OT is occupational therapy and OTA is occupational therapy assistant. That's what I think. I don't know what ADL is. I'll figure out what that means and I'll put it on the screen. But same idea, only PTs can do evals and make plans of care. Then I went on to ask Katherine, has she ever heard of P.Volve Workouts? And if yes, has she ever seen them? And what are her initial thoughts and opinions as someone who works in the field? She said, I've not heard of it until I saw your first Instagram story about it. I looked at a few of their Instagram videos and my first impression was that it's another trendy fitness company that's trying to reinvent the wheel. I do like the idea of trying to help people find a way of moving/exercising that causes less pain, but I don't think you need this brand or their products to do that. Honestly, I agree with Katherine. I think there's plenty of exercise programs and systems that you can do to achieve the benefits of functional fitness, and I feel like P-Volve is just kind of gimmicky in that regard. Just my opinion and Katherine's opinion. So when I did a search on YouTube for P-Volve, one of the first things that came up was a QVC promo video. They showed a little bit of a sample exercise, discussed the product, showed some before and afters, which, by the way, I have to call total bull on this one. It's the lighting in the after photo. That's the oldest trick in the book, man. In the after pic, they have half her body in the dark, so it's casting a shadow on her, making her abs pop more. I also don't know how I completely glossed over this while I was filming this video, but I love this little disclaimer that they put on the bottom, where it says that she also did other physical activities such as yoga and walking, and she followed a low-calorie diet, and then they finished off with results not typical. Bad enough she tweaked the lighting with her after photo to make it look a little bit more compelling. I mean, I guess I can't be mad because at least they're like being honest. At least they put it there, results not typical. But like, why would I want to buy this? Try harder. Something else that sticks out to me in this video is the language that they frequently use. They use a lot of buzzwords that primarily attract female clientele. Tighten, tone. And they also say in the QVC video that these programs are not meant to, quote, bulk you.
Without you working those delicate muscles, you'll never get that lift in that rear, the strength in that rear. But we're not bulking. So we are not looking at this as a bulking mechanism. You're strengthening your body.
That was me rolling my eyes. I guess I should add that I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that an exercise program is geared toward women, but my problem is terminology surrounding this program and this system. I feel like it discourages women from using any sort of weight with their exercise routine, and it pushes them away from doing more weight-bearing exercises when it's been proven that women would probably benefit the most from it. Remember those CDC statistics? Obviously, movement of any kind, especially among a group of people who statistically move the least, it is definitely a good thing. And also remember, weight-bearing exercise isn't just lifting weights. But what grinds my gears is just this narrative that like women can't or shouldn't lift weights because it'll make us bulky. Unless you were doing anabolic steroids, among other things, no, it won't. To all you sexy bitches watching this, lifting weights will not make you bulky. It will make you stronger. It will improve your health. It's good for your bones. And hello, you'll get sexier than you already are. So the next thing I did was I actually sent Katherine the same QVC promo video, and I just wanted to see what she would say on it. So I will read her response now. Oh my word, I have so many comments. So gimmicky. The whole time they're talking about trouble spots and lifting/toning. All buzzwords and so toxic, so different than the vibe I got from their Instagram. The IG page mentioned more about preventing pain and injury, which I liked. That video was all about looks and hitting trouble spots. I don't like that. 2, their research and results or whatever didn't have any actual data results, just what their participants felt afterwards. Yeah, I noticed that too. Good point. Can be totally placebo. I don't consider that real research. Just because someone felt like their butt was more lifted doesn't mean it actually did become more lifted. I also noticed on the results pictures the fine print mentioned all the other things the women did at the same time. Calorie deficit, walking, yoga. So seems difficult to say the results were just from doing this program. That is a good point. Yeah, there was that fine print on the after photos that we saw on those. I don't see how training in such minor ROM, range of motion, will get you significant results. They're barely moving in those exercises, and I don't see how you can get a full proper contraction of the muscle with such a small range of motion. 4, training your adductors is not going to lift your butt. Also, hot take. In my opinion, most people really don't need to train their adductors at all. If you were performing compound lifts, they will be worked. Unless you're going through physical therapy and recovering from an injury or other specific issue, you really don't need to focus on doing adductor isolation movements. A lot of people tend to be tight there actually, and that can lead to issues with overall hip flexor tension/tightness. Something I did see consistently across all the videos I did see were those bands in the illustrious P-ball, which is a name that I laughed at for several minutes because I am a child. So the P-ball is like intertwined into some type of contraption with bands on the side, and the bands loop around your legs. It honestly reminds me of a more convenient version of the Beachbody core ball. I say more convenient because it actually stays in place. I mean, I assume it stays in place because of the bands, like that contraption that it's in. I found a demo video on how to use it, and the trainer uses terms like P-sit and P-squat.
Hi everyone, it's Maeve, and today I'm going to show you how to put on and properly use your P-ball. In your P stance, squeeze the ball, but also squeeze under your butt. Engage your core, pull your shoulders down. I'm gonna take a couple P-sits. So I'm squeezing in on that ball, I'm squeezing underneath my glutes.
I am such a child. I asked our friend Katherine her opinion about the P-ball. At least one time I'm gonna say that without laughing. You watch. And this was her response. It reminds me of Autumn's control freak ball. It seems completely unnecessary. I guess the whole point is to have a way to work adduction and abduction back to back, but I see no real reason to do that. Gave me vibes like they're trying to give you a way to work your inner thigh to get quote unquote tone and get a thigh gap, which obviously isn't going to happen with stupid little ball isometric exercises like that. Aren't going to give you the results like they're trying to claim. So I already asked the question before, like, what are these workouts supposed to be for specifically? Because they're always going on and on about recovery and healing, and it's made by a physical therapist and all that stuff. But what about for people like you and me who are in overall good health and like just want to exercise to be healthy humans? Could this be good for that? In my opinion, if you fit the bill for what I just described, just an average healthy human just wanting to work out to be a healthy person, then you should just hit the gym, man. Why is that my opinion? My biggest reason is definitely the lack of heavier weights used in P-Volve training. They seem to use a lot of tools like the resistance band and the P-ball. And honestly, in the beginning, that's all well and good. But at a certain point, those exercises just aren't going to challenge you anymore. And you're going to need to start challenging yourself more with heavier resistance. Those 3-pound ankle weights are just not cutting it. Now, if this is designed for the purposes of physical therapy, then one may ask, well, why don't you just go to a physical therapist? Assuming you have access to physical therapy through your insurance, assuming your insurance will cover physical therapy, because I know not everyone has that. If you need physical therapy and your insurance covers it, why not go with actual individualized physical therapy? Hey, you're injured and need to use physical therapy to recover? Do you want to work one-on-one with a physical therapist who will make an individualized plan custom to your needs and your body? Or do you want to do P-squats with a P-ball? I would personally pick physical therapy with an actual physical therapist. So the next thing I asked Katherine was pretty much that question. Like, assuming somebody has full access to a physical therapist, maybe they have insurance that'll cover it, or they have the money to, pay for it out of pocket themselves. Is doing P-Volve better than working directly with a physical therapist? Here's Katherine's response. For your first question, absolutely not. If someone has a need for physical therapy services, they should 100% see a physical therapist. Getting the one-on-one care with an individualized plan is going to be way more beneficial than following a generic exercise program. Also, your PT/PTA will be able to critique your form and make sure you're performing the movements well, and also making sure they are the right intensity to get the results you need. So increasing or decreasing intensity and changing or adding exercises based on abilities and improvements, which is something I don't believe you'd get with a program like this. And the average person may not know or understand how to progress in a program or to get the most out of it. So this wouldn't be a Brianna video if we didn't react to some workouts. So let's watch some. The following are videos that I just came across while on their Instagram page. Step and reach one, pelvic floor. I don't really get that. I actually sent this one to Katherine. I wanted her take on it, but I also asked her, like, do you have any experience with pelvic floor health? Because I know that's kind of like a different area of specialty within physical therapy. So I did ask her, do you know anything about pelvic floor health and PT, and depending on your scale of knowledge, can you comment on this? And then I added, I see a lot of trendy like workouts in the fitness social media space, and everybody's like pelvic floor, but I asked Katherine, if somebody doesn't have a history of pelvic floor dysfunction, such as incontinence, or maybe like women who are postpartum, like I can see why, vaginal childbirth can, make stuff weird with your pelvic floor. So I said, does anybody who has a history of having a perfectly healthy, fully functioning pelvic floor really need to focus on their pelvic floor health? She actually said to that video that we just watched, I would say I have an entry-level knowledge of pelvic floor health, although it is an area I'm super interested in and hope to eventually get some continuing education credits in and possibly work in a clinic with that specialty. The exercises look fine, but I wouldn't say they specifically target the pelvic floor. That's what I thought too. I sat in on a seminar led by a physical therapist with a specialty in pelvic floor health, and when looking at postpartum women and exercise, the focus was on how you breathe and brace your core when performing compound lifts, exercises like jumping rope and things like that. And then obviously performing exercises that strengthen the pelvic floor. But I never saw those 3 exercises demonstrated, and I don't see any reason why a healthy person with no history of pelvic floor dysfunction would need to do exercises to strengthen or relax the pelvic floor. Completely unnecessary. So let's watch another one. So those were Standing ab moves that you can do anywhere with or without equipment. The thing that was interesting with all those is there was lifting at the legs, which is fine. I don't doubt that those exercises do engage the abdominals, but because there was lifting, like lifting up, or I said lifting at the legs, lifting up, using your hips to lift your leg, you're probably doing more hip flexors in those than anything, actually. So, all right, we're gonna look at one more. Interesting. Booty and leg glider burner. Straight back, 6 o'clock, and then it says back corner abduction. Okay, I think she's saying abduction because she's kind of extending her leg out, and when you are spreading your legs, that's called hip abduction, taking your legs, moving your legs apart from each other. I mean, it's diagonal. I mean, I guess it's abduction, but like not really. And then she said cross the midline toward the other corner, adduction. Adduction is the opposite of abduction. Adduction is the inner thighs. It's like it's the machine where the weights are on the inside. The pads are on the inside, and then you're moving your legs inward. Adduction. What's interesting is the next one she did, where she was kind of doing sort of like a lateral lunge, but was kind of gliding like on the glider like that. I actually feel like that was more adduction than the crossover one. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think those exercises are bad necessarily. They just, I don't know. They just don't look like anything special. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So I already offered my closing thoughts, but before I end the video, I do want to say this. I know there will be at least one comment from someone who says, I think you're being too harsh, Brianna. I've been doing P.Volve workouts for 5 years and I can scale the Empire State Building now because of it. And to those people I say, great. Good for you, seriously. I'm not here to tell you to do or don't do a specific type of workout, unless it's stupid and dangerous, obviously. And again, there's risk with all physical activity, but this is probably like pretty tame, honestly, in my opinion. My channel is science-based education in the areas of health, wellness, fitness, and nutrition. But I also share my opinions. And my opinions on P.Volve are that you can get a much better workout using actual gym equipment, or even just a few sets of dumbbells in your living room. I find it to be pretty gimmicky and trendy, and I don't think that it's a great way to build strength in the long term because there's really no opportunity to continuously challenge your body with heavier weights or progressively overload, if you will. Something I also just personally don't like is I feel that they perpetuate the misconception that women shouldn't lift weights or that women shouldn't do super heavy resistance training because we'll get bulky. And I feel like in their marketing, they only contribute to the gender divide that's in physical fitness already, which I dislike and I find it problematic. In my opinion. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is empty. If you love P.Volve and it's working for you, then great. You go on with your bad self. These were all my opinions and the opinions of our friend Katherine, the physical therapy assistant. If you don't like it, that's really okay. Feel free to dislike the video. I really do understand, but I do thank you for watching. In conclusion, I already concluded. I am so tired. I need some carbs. What do you think of P.Volve? Have you ever done it? One of the people who reached out to me about it told me that they tried it and they just didn't like it because they felt that the exercises were stupid. If that's your opinion, that's cool. I want to hear about it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Thank you so very much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Also, like and subscribe. Bye. Hello, ma'am. Onyx, what were you doing in there? What are you doing? Excuse me. Excuse me. Alpha. Ma'am. Done? No. Oh, she's biting my shoe. Don't you bite my slipper. Stop it. Don't bite your brother. Don't bite your brother's neck. Hey. Hey, you two don't act up on camera. See, she just pissed him off and Onyx was just not having it. Yeah. Oh, now he's kissing her. Okay. All right. I think we're all exhausted. Mommy needs a shower and she needs a salad and some carbs. Bye, Alpha.